Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode on Collocations for the Speaking. The topic today is traditions and culture. Now, let's look at some useful phrases to describe your actions and activities. 1. When you want to talk about keeping a tradition, you can say, cherish a tradition or cherish a value. Or you can say, uphold a custom, preserve a culture or heritage, or you keep a tradition alive. 2. When you want to talk about how you keep your tradition, you can say following a tradition, observe a custom, or practice a ritual, or celebrate a festival. Next, when you want to talk about your grandparents or your parents passing down a tradition to you, you can say they hand down a tradition to you, or they transmit traditions to you, or they instill cultural values into you, or they instill traditional values into you. Number 4, if you want to talk about the changes in culture and traditions, you can say break with tradition or go against a custom. Next, you can talk about assimilate or the assimilation of the culture by saying assimilate a culture. So when you say a country assimilate a culture, it means they start to change so that they can be like part of the popular culture. Revive a tradition is when the younger generation, maybe of a family or of a country, try to make a tradition live again. Number 5, when you talk about how much you learn or how you learn about a culture, you can say explore a culture. You can say glean deeper insight into a culture, or you can say experience culture shock. Culture shock is the period of time that you experience, and it's usually at the start of your stay somewhere new in another country, for example, and it's not very comfortable. Next, reinforce cultural exchange or promote or encourage cultural exchange is when you are encouraged to learn about other cultures and they are also encouraged to learn about your culture. Number 6, establish a tradition. It is when you want to say somebody start or create or formulate a new tradition. Foster a culture of open communication. It is when people are encouraged to talk about their beliefs or talk about their problems. Okay, now let's look at the types of culture and tradition. 1. Let's look at some words that you can use with the word tradition, the adjectives that you can use with them. 1. We have age old, ancient, centuries old, or time honored tradition. Those are the words to describe a tradition that has been there or has been lasting for a long time. Family tradition or ancestral tradition. It is the tradition that exists in a family. Unbroken living tradition. Is it similar to the idea of long-standing tradition? Oral tradition, literary tradition, or artistic tradition. They refer to different ways tradition are preserved. Like oral tradition, it is preserved through words or through sharing, but not written down. Literary is about literature, and artistic is about art. Culture. The second, we look at words that can go with culture. We can say ancient culture, indigenous culture, native culture. Second, we can say dominant or mainstream culture. It refers to the culture that many people follow. Alien or foreign culture refers to the culture from or in another country. Local culture, national culture, or world culture refers to the levels. That can be in a small area, that can be in the national scale or the world scale. Corporate culture means the culture in a company. Political refer to politics. Religious culture refers to the culture in a religion. Now let's talk about words that can be used to describe a society. We can say a melting pot society. It is when you can see many people from many different cultures or countries. Similar to this idea, we have multicultural society. All right. And the next one is patriarchal culture. Patriarchal culture is the place where you can see men are valued much more than women. 4. When you talk about culture, here are some terms that you can use, like cultural values, customs and beliefs, and heritage, core values of a culture, and social norms of a culture. All right. Now let's look at some expressions that can be useful when you talk about culture. 1. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. It is the advice for you to follow the customs or tradition of the people in the place you are visiting. 2. A fish out of water. When you feel like a fish out of water, you feel uncomfortable or out of place in a situation or culture. Number 3, you take pride in your origin. It means you feel proud of your background and heritage. Something is a cultural eye-opener. Is it an experience that makes you more aware of cultural differences and realities? Number 7, cross-cultural bridge. If something or someone is seen as a cross-cultural bridge, it is the person who connects people from different cultures. Okay, so somebody or something can be a cultural bridge. Next, number 8, lost in translation. When you are lost in translation, it means when the meaning or the emotion of something doesn't fully transfer between languages or cultures. So it means when you try to translate something and you can see that maybe a word in the language that you are using and the word in your mother language or mother tongue doesn't seem to have your mother tongue doesn't seem to have the word to describe that action or that emotion, then you are lost in translation. Number 9, when you describe a society as a cultural mosaic, it is a society made up of many distinct cultural groups that maintain their identities. Okay, so it means that in this society, there are people from different groups and they refer to keep their own ways of life or tradition. Number 10, break down cultural barriers. Is it when you remove misunderstandings or prejudices between different cultures? Number 11, bridge the cultural gap. It is when something can bridge the cultural gap, it is to be able to bring people of different cultures closer by understanding and cooperation. 12. A clash of cultures is the conflict between people with different cultural beliefs or practice. Number 13. Blend of cultures is a harmonious mix of traditions, beliefs, and practices from various cultures. So it means that at a time, people from different cultures can live happily and harmoniously together. Thank you for listening. Hope that this sharing video can help you with some ideas. Thank you.